So one of the most important implications of this difference is just honestly, Deep3 Labs probably couldn't exist if it weren't for our unique focus of training data on blockchain transactions rather than just focusing on text. Text data are great, don't get me wrong. It's why we have things like ChatGPT and Claude. And those things have definitely made a difference. Entire markets have been created just using these chatbots, and we're going to see tons and tons of new tool development. But when you get down to it, text is actually a really bad source of data for AI and machine learning models. We kind of know right off the bat, text is really dirty. You don't have to go that far on things like Twitter to see just how bad text can be. Misspellings, false truths, you name it. Text is just really dirty. But by definition, blockchain data are clean because the protocols control its structure, and every transaction is going to end up meeting that same structure. But that's not all, because text data is also scattered across millions of websites. And sure, people have spent massive amounts of energy to collate all that data in nice, clean databases. But let's be real, that's hard and expensive. You can't do that as a startup. Blockchain is completely different. The Web3 backed internet is essentially co-locating all of that data into a small number of blockchain ledgers. Today, there's, let's say, 5 or 10 blockchains that matter. That means that there's only 5 or 10 different sources that we need to go to create a comprehensive data set that covers all of Web3. It's also always complete. When a record gets submitted, we know that's the entire beginning, middle, and end of whatever that action was. But text may or may not be complete. It may only be a portion of a person's thought. It's also always going to be public and free. Because by definition, for blockchain ledgers to operate, you need to keep a copy of that ledger on thousands or millions of different validators. And so that has to be publicly accessible. And sure, there's encryption methods like fully homomorphic encryption that are gaining traction, but those are still able to support things like machine learning and artificial intelligence. And on the other hand, text, at least in the last 5 years or so, is increasingly paywalled. This is exactly why Twitter's API went from a few $100s a month to tens of thousands of dollars a month. Text is getting increasingly harder to capture for machine learning exercises because people know it's valuable. But the most important reason out of all of these things is blockchain transaction data are always tied to economic outcomes. And when that's the case, you can trust the data more, you can infer more from the data, and ultimately being able to predict actions and behaviors is the most lucrative exercise for AI and machine learning. And on the tech side, it's very rare when text is directly linked to an action or an economic outcome. So there's a ton of reasons why blockchain transactions offer truly untapped potential for AI and machine learning training. Well, I think the biggest way that we benefit is just simply startup scale. If we were trying to become a large language model developer, forget all of the compute costs, forget about the staff costs, because we'd be competing for AI engineers with the likes of, OpenAI and Facebook. But the data itself, all we need to do is stand up a node, run some code against it that scrapes it, put it into a data warehouse, and now we have training data.